Hello, I am Billy Bobsek, and I am joined by Frederick Gumont,
How do you do?
Ting Kage,
What's up, everyone?
and we are reviewing Rook's Exodus number 4. Frederick, why don't you start us out?
Right. So starting with the cover, it's absolutely beautiful cover again by Jason Fabok here. It looks like those old time movie poster paintings. It's very attractive. Brings you right into the book. Uh, I find there's a little bit of text heavy on the front page, but then as soon as you get into the story, the action starts to move in this one. We are introduced to more of these wardens, some really cool ones, and this book is just action packed. We got the fight scenes. This is the first time we see combat, like serious combat, and it's a short book compared to the other ones as well. So overall, I think it looks great. It looks fantastic, and that's pretty much my initial thoughts.
Um, I have a bit more problems with this book. Like always, the art's good and all that, right? The coloring. However, I do feel like I don't know. I kind of got blue balled on the action. I don't think it was that great. I think it kind of like started off like, oh wow, and then stuff happened, and didn't really go anywhere interesting. To be honest, kind of just we get introduction and then we get like conclusion, like back to back on these two other like little fight scenes that we had.
Yeah, after reading some Berserk, you're thinking, okay, this fight should last a couple of comics long.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and kind of felt like we got like a resolved a little plot point like way too early in this one. We'll get into it in spoilers, but
Yeah.
I'm actually going to give this one a C plus. It's my rating.
Well, my reaction was more along the lines of Frederick's. I think the cover is awesome. It's definitely a throwback to maybe some of the older movie posters, like something like I guess you could say the older Star Wars posters almost. Definitely getting vibes like that from it. I really, I this this was my favorite of the four so far. I actually, maybe I'm just an action junkie. I don't know, but I felt like it was definitely action packed, and the art was a great reflection of that. We do get an early plot resolution, but I think that's for probably a good reason down the line. But I loved the action. Like I said, the art's fantastic. We kind of get a little bit more of the older paneling from the first issue, which I wasn't super fond of. But generally speaking, I thought it was a great issue. It's a lot shorter. I think that has to do with the pacing and the action, which isn't always a bad thing. But like you were saying, it would have been nice if this could have gone a little longer, especially since we got so much buildup, early on. But without getting too much into the bad, I liked it a lot, and I actually give this one an A minus.
I don't know. I feel like I got blue balled in this one, man. Like we get a set up at the end of the last one, like, oh fuck, he's here. Oh shit, big battle.
Yeah, I can't blame you. But if it's
Multiple
a
wardens, and
preview,
when we get into it, it's kind of like two skirmishes, and they're like over
yeah,
really quick.
if it could be a preview of what we're going to see moving forward, I think that's a good thing. If it's short term, then yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from. Actually, I'm going to up it a little bit. I'm just going to say a solid A, just because the action, we've been building up for so long now that it's nice to see some more conflict here, some resolution. We're starting to see some of these characters clash, like we've been waiting for. And there was a little bit before this issue, but not as much. We're getting less of an emphasis on the climate change stuff. I do have some criticism, but overall, this is one that I have the least criticism on. So
Frederick, what was your rating?
yeah. So seeing as there's a lot of action, but I find we're lacking kind of the beautiful and epic sceneries and scale that we had in the previous ones.
Mhm.
But I am a junkie for the art and the action, so I'm gonna up it from the previous one and just go the same with Esten Kage with a straight A.
All righty. I think this is going to conclude our non-spoiler bit, and then we're going to move on to the good. All right, now we're on to the good. Tinkage, why don't you start us out?
sure, yeah. So just like all the other issues, excellent art, detail. very impressive. But this one, I think it added a ton of action, which I think is great. But and the paneling did change. We can get into that later. I do like the first page, how it's a little wordy, but it informs the reader kind of what's going on, so that we're not spending pages after pages of explaining the plot again. But you're still kind of being informed if you're jumping in, just now on issue 4. I really love on the next page the splash with the wolves and the crow. I think it's really, really cool. Oh yeah, so fast forward a little bit deeper into the book, the action, we get a lot of clashing here. We finally get Warhog versus Rook. Warhog is the sidekick of Ursaw, who now has Swine's helm.
Yeah, he's the character we were introduced literally last issue.
Yeah. And so there's a cool panel of him with like a couple flails and it looks like a big ass gun while he's riding one of these giant warthogs. And we see Rook finally use some of his crow a little more to attack Warhog, but he ends up kind of getting his ass kicked a little bit. But it ends really great with I really loved the whole tongue in cheek, like die like a pig when he has Direwolf's wolves attack him, kind of kill him. Right? Well, not kind of, definitely.
We're in the good, but I will say I have a kind of a problem with this fight.
Yeah,
with ravens and stuff.
It's very quick.
Was cool. It's just
yeah, but we also get to see some direwolf action, and I thought Ka was kind of cool. So she looks like I would guess like a character foil to direwolf, like she's basically like the bad version, right? And she has a giant snake, giant anaconda, which I thought looked really great on
giant tails.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, it's my kind of thing there. But they got the giant snake paneling, the giant tits, right? And then Ka shows up. We get a little bit of a backstory here between her and Direwolf. I guess there's a little history there, so it's kind of cool. A little mini plot almost.
Yeah, and we got like a more reestablishing of the instinct influence. Basically, the reason why Direwolf dropped her out was the snake made her into just being a cold-hearted bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And again, that's just more foreshadowing to the animals having more of an effect. And I'm still thinking there's a physical effect too, because it's not really clear if she burrows away on the snake or if she burrows away on herself.
I think she just found a hole and went, all right, I'm going.
Jumped in it. Yeah. So we get to see some great action, great combat there. We finally get an encounter with Ursaw, which I thought was kind of cool. The guy I swear he's getting bigger. Like he just looks like a giant bear next to Rook now.
He looks so freaking cool in his like full page.
Yeah.
It's splash with the bears behind him. He looks menacing. He's freaking awesome.
Yeah, if you love Mad Max, you're gonna love Ursaw. Like he's really great in that regard. So and then we get the cliffhanger, the epic cliffhanger, no pun intended, because Rook's kind of thrown off a cliff and there's a bunch of the crow flying around him telling him to fly, which again, I go back to the whole physical thing, man. I don't know. I mean, he's gonna fly one day, isn't he?
So Tenkage, I feel like that's a little bit of a nod to fucking Game of Thrones. In the first book, with Fly or Die with the three-eyed raven.
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely see that. I didn't catch that before, but I think you're right.
Yeah, because literally at the end of it, the fucking crows are like screaming at him to fly or die, and I was like, this really reminds me of Game of Thrones a little bit.
Yeah.
With that page.
So again, we're getting a lot of good questions. Not too many questions where I don't really know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, we also evidently the wildlife grid is a ball as well.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that tree thing we saw. It's actually
I think it's a core. So they kind of took like the core server out, basically.
Well, even when we saw the tree, it was called an orb in the description.
That's true. So those are all the things that really stood out to me. At this point, like I said, the art is consistently good, and we're starting to see a lot of the stuff that we've been wondering about actually happening. So that's pretty fun.
I do think the splash pages and double page spreads are the best we've had, except from the first book. The first book has the best one with the bears, but I think the wolf and the crow one is really good.
Oh yeah.
Also, the coloring on it, it's really great because I think this is the first time we've really got to see nighttime, and since it's always sunset, so it's given a
Yeah.
purple hue on everything instead
Yeah.
of normal.
It's gorgeous, man. You could not have a better artist for this book. He draws the animals like perfectly.
I also give up on
Yeah.
the first page. I actually do like the first page. Yes, there's a little bit too much dialogue, but I do like it has.
That's what I was wondering. I was going to ask
Direwolf
you
and
guys about
Urthel.
that. Yeah, I too feel like, whoa, this is the first page. We kind of want to get into the story. And I was like, whoa, this feels kind of like a wall of text in each of the three panels. What do you think, Tenkage? A little bit too much text there?
Definitely an info dump. I think that's the Stan Lee approach. Treat it every book like it's the first time the readers ever encountered the book, right? But it is definitely an info dump, and I think it would be a lot cooler if you used a little less words going on there, and you have those helmet transitions from each character, which I thought was actually pretty cool that we get to see it from.
Visually, I liked it.
Yeah.
There is a little too much dialogue.
Something about Ursaw's panel kind of bothers me, though. I don't know what it is yet, but something about the lighting or
what
just
do you mean
the
his
lack
panel, like his page, his splash page?
on the very first page at the bottom
on the
there with
first,
Ursaw.
okay.
Yeah, he just has there's something with the coloring that just seems off to me. I don't really know what it is, but like the first two, you look at Rook and then you look at Direwolf, and you've got these colors and everything, and then you look at Ursaw and it just seems kind of washed out a little bit. But maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm not sure, but it's more of a feeling.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really see what you're saying.
Okay,
It looks the same as the other pages.
fair enough. Could just be a character design thing then. I don't know.
We also may have. I do think we're gonna get answered this. Clearly, Ursal does have a plan for something. Maybe he works for the corporation.
Yeah, he's definitely on a mission.
Well, here's what I'm wondering about Ursaw. He wants to get all these helmets, and I'm wondering if it goes back to what Direwolf said in the last issue, where she said you don't necessarily need the helmet after a while. Are we getting sort of you guys remember the show Heroes?
Yes.
Where they can steal powers. Are we getting a kind of a thing here where he learns every helmet, and then after a while he doesn't need a helmet for any of them, and then he can just control all the animals?
Dude,
that
it's
would be
like
pretty
Avatar
badass.
with all the 4 elements.
Yeah.
He says on one page, you don't know what you're truly fighting against, the world itself. There's got to be an objective or something for him.
Yeah.
That's
Because he
interesting.
can't wear all the helmets at once, but he could learn how to control he could have a bond with all of them after a while.
Well, it does seem like there was a bond between Rook and the Pumbaa, the boar.
Yeah, I hope we get a flashback to Swine, so that we can actually find out, why they were best friends, or how they became best friends, or what have you. Because then it would kind of explain that a little more. I think his relationship with the Pumbaa hog.
Dude, there's a shot of the Pumbaa hog, and it's just him like looking forward. Nothing is really happening, but it's so good, dude. Like you look into the animal's eyes and you can see its soul. I kid you not. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just amazed at how the animals look real. The eyes are exactly in the right place. They feel like they're alive and that they've got a soul. It's incredible how he
It's really cool.
pull it off. All the animal positions, all the actions, like I can't find one thing that is off.
Yeah, it's definitely some of the best animal drawing I've seen, like period, in a comic book. And though they say when you get really good at this, you can almost the characters and animals can come off the page. They almost feel animated, like alive, and I completely see that in the Pumbaa there too, especially when you see that Warhog is being attacked by the wolves in that panel there, right when they first jump at him. I really love that panel. It's kind of a little bit after the fight scene here. It's right before they kill him. Yeah, when he says, "Wait, eat the hog, and he goes to the next panel.
Yeah, the wolves, man, like
They look crazy good, right?
yeah, like in an attack mode.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small note, but the lettering is really perfect. It's top notch. I won't dwell too long on it, but it fits the book perfectly.
Yeah. There's a lettering later on in the book when he's fighting Ursa, when Rook is fighting Ursa, and his helmet falls to the ground, and you see that like electric kind of lettering. Looks amazing. I just thought it was cool. It's like outlined in white. It's got the orange and the yellow there, but it's kind of offset a little bit. It kind of gives it that electric vibe, like a disconnecting vibe. It's really cool.
Alrighty, I think we're gonna move on to the bad. Now on to the bad. I'm gonna start this out. The paneling in this book actually fucking detracts from the action. It is too simplified, too boxy. Just really disappointed me. I think it kind of detracts for some of the action scenes that could have been way more interesting, posed better. There's also a couple other ones. The fight with the Warhog, I kind of felt like it didn't start off great because we get a scene of before he's introduced. You have like Direwolf and Rook is running, and then Rook just gets hit by something. I felt like in that panel there should have been his what was he using? Morningstar?
Looks like it's a double flail.
Yeah, flail, Morningstar, whatever. I felt like that should have been in the drawing while it hits, and then you get the full reveal with him using it.
Yeah,
that was kind of an inconsistency. You just kind of like threw back for no reason, and I was kind of lost. Like, what the fuck happened? What hit him? I was a bit confused by that. I also did not like how Rook kind of got cucked in this fight as well with the Warhog, where he's like, "Go birds, attack!" and then the dude just shoots the gun. He's like, "Oh, your birds are pussies." And I was like,
it's true.
Why is Rook getting cucked in the action part?
Yeah. And who's saving him again?
Yeah, and then I guess his entire plan was to get his ass kicked, and then hopefully Direwolf will fucking come save the day with her. She didn't even need her wolves to fight the fucking Viper lady. But Rook with his birds, his little tiny birds.
That's a great point. I didn't notice that actually. That she fought with this electro staff instead, or whatever it is.
And that to me, it kind of felt like he got cucked in this fight.
Yeah,
it was disappointing.
Yeah, it's very disappointing because it's like every issue, it's his girlfriend that's doing everything over him, and he's kind of a loser. And there's no counter example, so I'm starting to grow to hate this character, this main character.
And to go a little bit with Direwolf's fight, I kind of felt like it just ended a little too quick. Mm-hmm. Like she just kind of hits the snake, and then she throws her staff at the one chick and just knocks her the fuck out.
Isn't it a big thing in manga or manga where you have the protagonist is kind of weak sometimes, and then the supporting characters kind of lift him up too? So maybe they're trying to pull something like that off. And
yeah, but he didn't even get to fight with his bird. It's one thing if he was fighting with his birds, but he's just getting overwhelmed. And then there's another thing, he just gets his ass kicked, and then the fucking wolves come in and save the day.
Yeah, and even if this scene in isolation was not that bad, it's because this is the fourth book, and in every book she's always the one saving him or leading him around or disregarding his comments. It's
strong women.
There's a pattern. Pardon me.
Yeah, and then why didn't we get like any fight between him and Carpus? Kind of was annoyed we just get cut back, and I guess he just kicked his ass. We don't see him fight at all.
It is a good point because he doesn't even defeat Warhog. Direwolf does.
Oh, this is another disappointing fact, man. So we know in the last issue that he has turtles with big giant fucking guns, right? I would have loved in this page to see at least one turtle shooting at it while the bears are shooting lasers at him. Right?
And it would have improved the book for more than one reason as well, because there is a lack of epic scenery in this book, and we've just been gifted so many beautiful shots in the previous book that the fact that this one doesn't have any kind of detracts from it a little bit.
I think the only one that really stands out to me is the Direwolf and the Raven spread eagle page.
Yeah, that one's absolutely spectacular.
Like, I think that one was great. I will say, I will give credit to
But I'm talking specifically about scenery, like the epicness of the world they live in. Despite the wolf shot being awesome, double page, we're not seeing epic scenery. It's just a small part of the forest here.
Yeah, but I don't even think we get a good establishing shot of the dam they're on.
That was a gripe that I did have, was the Oasis was just kind of given up. It seemed like I know in the last book he sent a lot of the turtles away with the kids.
Dude, he has like 4 ginormous turtles with big giant turrets.
Yeah, I know. You would think that he would leave a couple behind, because I think in the last issue he does send them away, like down the river to save the kids or whatever. Which you never
no,
see the
that was
kids,
in
by the
this
way.
one. In this one, in the
Oh, it
last
was this
one,
one.
you got none of that.
Oh yeah,
It
okay.
was just in this one. Well, then Rook and Direwolf go to fight Herschel, and then his birds finally somewhat listen to him and actually attack, but they just say, "Fuck you, Rook. You know, we're not doing what you want," and they just get their ass handed to him by Herschel.
Yeah.
And then Herschel just picks him up and throws his ass off into the dam. But you know, at some point, Herschel is like, "Yeah, that definitely didn't kill him."
We didn't see any defense from Carapace. I know he's supposed to be like 118 years old, but it's not really clarified if that it keeps him alive longer. It does say that it helps him move, but you would think it would be like a mechanized power suit, and we would have gotten.
Is he even alive?
That's a
We
good
don't
question.
think he's alive. We just see him on the floor.
It would have been great to see him at least try to fight Ursa with his Morning Star and Turtle Shell shield in a panel or two, you know?
It would have been great for him to show up on the Pumbaa and look at Rook and say, "Fucking bitch, little bitch. You ain't nothing." It just walks away, you know?
Shows up, like I said, can't be depended on.
Yeah, can't be relied. Yeah. But, I mean, that's mainly like the points I have is just the paneling kind of detracted from the art or the action, in my opinion. Also, did Rook just throw away his fucking best friend's helmet?
It's not really clear what he does with it, yeah.
Because he kind of just says, "Take care, Pumbaa.
Good luck, Pumbaa."
Yeah, good luck.
And he's like snorting.
Yeah, and then does he have the helmet still, or did he throw the helmet?
Yeah, like this whole time he's talking about, I'm gonna avenge my best friend, and then he doesn't even avenge him. Direwolf does, which, again,
yeah, which once again cucked me. And first of all, why is this happening now? Like, I kind of actually feel like this should be. I'm not saying it has to be a major point.
Yeah, he's got the helmet. I can confirm. So when Ursa picks him up, you can see Pumbaa. What's his name? Swine's helmet on the side of his backpack behind his left arm.
Okay, so
I see it
someone's
there.
gonna wear it up at some point.
Yeah.
Or maybe he wears it. Who knows?
Yeah, I would say Rook is probably the most disappointing character so far, and he's supposed to be the hero. So,
Dude, you're telling me, man. It's like, ugh.
yeah, this guy better go through some big transformation, or, this is probably going to be a DNF down the line. I mean, this was a good issue, but I'm not seeing a lot of growth with Rook. He's kind of the same kind of bitch throughout all the issues. So.
Every other character is more interesting. That's not a good sign.
Yeah.
But again, art's so good. I can forgive a lot of that. For not for
The art's good, but like the paneling legitimately fucking kind of ruins
That's
it.
what I was talking about. This is one of the issues that kind of looks like the same paneling we had in #1. A little bit more rigid. No anchor panels. No like huge, no varying angles on the panels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No images really popping out of panels. Feels very much more DC than Marvel, even though it's obviously it's an image book. But I think Jason Fabok comes from a DC background. I believe. Maybe wrong
Pretty
about
sure.
that.
Just real quick to follow up on the paneling, I agree with that, and I kind of wonder if the change was for production reasons or for speed reasons. I'm not really sure, but it doesn't really seem to add anything. A lot of times, I would assume that you do a lot of these smaller panels to transition, to show transition, like quick transition, and that doesn't seem to be happening a lot. A lot of these panels, there's one where he picks up the helmet and looks at it, and then he kind of hides when he's fighting Warhog. he being Rook. But then there's other times where you have these small panels and they are not quick transitions. They're kind of drawn out, and I'm not really sure why they did that. So it's a little jarring.
Yeah, like when you have Warhog get eaten, right? I'm gonna be honest
Right.
with you. The second and fourth panel should have just been one. Like there was no reason to have them be different. He should have just said, "Now he's dying like a pig," on the second panel. We didn't need to zoom in one.
Yeah, so it's just an odd choice to go back to that kind of first issue paneling. I'm not sure if it's because they're just going page by page or if they have kind of everything laid out and they decided to do it that way. I don't know. But like Frederick said, I'm pretty sure Jason Fabok is from DC, and I know Jeff Johns is, so...
One thing I would like to add as well in the not so good section, last page is kind of disappointing. We see him falling into the waterfall, and you kind of know he's going to be saved, so it's kind of disappointing at this point because I want him to stop whining, and I hope that he comes out of this like grateful to live, because he's his character is starting to be the weak point of the book in each issue.
I don't know. It kind of sounds like he said, he should have flown away like a pussy. You know?
I gotta tell you though, if we had got all this foreshadowing about connection and all that without the helmet, and the crow or ravens are screaming at him to fly, it would have been almost kind of cool to see him actually like land or fly or like float. You know what I mean? Like that probably would have been more rewarding than him just falling into the
but that
You
would
want
mean,
him to fly?
that would mean he would have to be successful at something.
like Peter Pan, right?
that would mean he would have to pull off something. And
Well, that could have been the moment where it clicked. I don't know, but
I
I'm
will
not
say
a
this.
fan of it either. But it would have been better than what we got. Is how I feel.
You need to. Jeff Johns, your main character has to be somewhat fucking competent. You kind of look like a retard in this book.
I think the girl is going to connect to the rooks without her helmet, learn to fly, and then dive down and fly him out of there.
I know when we're starting to hope characters they start to fly, you might want to like kind of, boost them up a little bit. You might want to make them a little more competent.
He's not badass in the littlest. Like, I don't want to follow this guy after 4 issues.
Because it's not clear if he can fly or not. Like another character we all know out there.
He can barely build a
Wonder what that character
spaceship.
can do.
He's not a successful farmer. He can't get a girlfriend. What has this guy got?
Yeah,
going
she-
for?
Is he
She
getting kicked out
chose-
of clubs too? That's
He
what I want
hates,
to know.
he hates his own
He'll-
animals that he's connected to.
The world is ending and he still can't get a girl. Like, that's
He's an
sad.
alcoholic who doesn't even have alcohol right now.
I know. He needs to pull up.
He talks
You know?
to birds.
He needs
Yeah.
to step up and do.
He thinks the
better.
birds are intentionally catching fish to eat as being an asshole too.
I know, it's like he's so irritating. He's like the worst victim-minded farmer I've ever seen.
He's a terrible character. Yeah, he probably would be a terrible farmer too. That's probably why he left. Like my dad.
Yeah,
got
his
a farm
father.
now.
It wasn't the corporation or his father burning down the farm. No. It was just he did it secretly so he can bitch about it.
He was a terrible farmer, and he just could not
Yeah.
live up to his father's legacy. So
His
he's
dad
"I'm gonna go
was
farm
like-
out."
His dad was like, "I'm not going to leave the farm to him. He can't do anything." He's like, "You can't even keep the birds away from the feed.
Yeah, he can't even scare away the scarecrows.
I'm going to have to burn this farm and burn this planet." And
Yeah.
All right, I think this is going to be the for bad segment. We're going to move on to the conclusion.
Yep.
Oh boy. Alrighty, it's now the conclusion. Frederick, why don't you start us off?
okay, well, another incredible issue drawn by Jason Fabok here. We finally get into the action, but it's kind of it's disappointing on a few things. Sadly, it's the same issues we've had with the previous, 1 to 3. The relationship is not really happening with our 2 main characters. And as you were mentioning, Billy Bob, in the break, it's like they have no chemistry. It's like, and this is the fight scene. This would have been an excellent issue to show their feelings for one another.
She wasn't even worried about it. And there's at no point she was like, "Oh, Rook is getting his ass kicked.
She's
oh, God,
not
I
into
gotta,
him.
I gotta beat
Why
this fucking
would
snake
she?
bitch so I can help him." No.
She's not attracted to him, and why would she? He's a loser.
He is. Like
Couldn't
I
have said
said,
it better
I
myself.
gave a pass for the first 3 issues of him kind of being incompetent. But when we finally get to a fucking fight scene, and this motherfucker just gets his ass handed, and he's saved by the dire wolves, right?
Mhm.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this main character right now?
Yeah.
And it's a bit sad, to be honest, that it has such important issues with the script, because the art is like on its peak. Like, this is incredible art. I was saying in the good parts, the animals, you can see the souls of the animals in their eyes. The character helmets and armor is incredible. Every drawing, despite like the panel layouts, what's in the actual panels is to perfection. Like, you don't even notice that she's fighting high heels in the jungle. Like, I love it. Like,
Which is the rule of cool right there for sure.
Yeah, that's not a critique. That's kudos.
It's comic
to her.
books.
Yeah, exactly. So
Is Direwolf having high heels?
Yes. So I'm torn. I'm torn here because the story's going downhill or down a waterfall, but the art is getting better with each issue. So I'm kind of following it at this point from an artist's perspective, just admiring what the guy is actually doing, and I think that's would be my recommendation, is like buy it for the art at this point.
Yeah, I'm 100% all in on that. Buy it for the art. I still give this book an as a solid A. I do have issues with the characterization and where we're going here. The paneling choices were kind of odd. The ending was a little lackluster. I'm telling you guys, though, like, if he was falling, and I'm not saying he should have flown or anything. I was kind of joking about that. But he definitely should. You should see something where maybe he breaks his fall, or maybe even the crows kind of help him, not die. And that would kind of lead, maybe he is gifted in some way or something. He's finally starting to get it, or maybe there's a hint of a connection there that makes the reader want to read the next issue. But instead, we're just given a, he's thrown off the waterfall and nothing happens, and I think it's not a good ending. So,
Frederick, this is what I need you to do, right? I need you to make a little bit of a drawing where the next page is the ravens picking him up, and instead of landing in the water, they make sure he lands right on the rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be that's hilarious.
Hey, it's still more interesting. That's my point.
Yeah.
It's still more interesting.
Is his superpower to fly?
And it's a damning flaw to dislike your main character. And to be honest, like, any one of these things in isolation is not a problem, but it's the pattern. Like, there is no exception. He's always a loser. He's always beta to the girl. The girl has no chemistry with him. She's not attracted to him. The only reason she's with him is because she needs his helmet, or he's the last man on this Exodus planet.
Look at how not disappointed she was when Ursal, the big strong man, fucking just yeets his ass to the sky.
He's not even present in all those panels, it looks like. Yeah.
She's going to make Ursa babies, and they're going to repopulate this planet because they both believe in it. This guy's a loser who doesn't even believe in the planet.
Yeah.
Like,
by the way, look how big fucking Ursal's hands are.
I know.
I'm Direwolf.
I'm
still got
rooting
that
for
theory.
Ursa.
Yeah, I mean, give Rook a pair of pistols or something. Make something badass about him.
He does have a pair of.
He has a pair of pistols on the cover. Exactly.
Listen,
that's what I'm saying.
Though,
but not in the actual fight, though. He doesn't.
No,
Tinkage. He has ravens that were able to be dispersed with one gunshot.
Oh man, ravens with pistols. Give the ravens some pistols.
Give the ravens
something.
Lasers.
He looks heroic on the cover. He's got his 2 pistols, as you say, in each hand, but he does nothing heroic in the book.
Yeah, and that's when Ursa throws or knocks them both over in one of the last few panels. You can see Direwolf on top of Rook. That's the most sexual tension we get out of the entire series.
Well, it makes sense for her to be top and him to be bottom,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
See, there's a theme here. A recurrent theme. Do you see it, guys?
Come on, Jeff. What are you doing, man? But
Yeah. But like I said, the art is great, right? The coloring is great. The paneling in this one, I think, is a little bit.
It's an
even-
artist comic book for
It's
sure.
even saying great is underdoing it. I think
It really
this
is.
This is some of the best artwork I've seen in my life, which is why it makes me sad that the story is not even, it's got these such glaring problems.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't. How common is it to get art like this and really amazing writing?
Well, yeah, this would be like
Berserk.
it would be lightning in a bottle if it had
Vagabond.
both.
yeah. No, I do agree though. As far as art, this is about as good as American comic books get in a lot of ways.
And
So
the page with the huge snake creature,
Mhm.
that kind of makes me think of Berserk.
the big anaconda, or
Yeah.
python or whatever it is, Too.
I don't know. It
Big
kind of looks
Frederick
like a
is really
mix of
good.
it, and it kind of looks like it has a face, but not the what is it? The side ridge things on cobras.
I think it's a rattlesnake of some kind.
Either way, I'll give the best. I'll give one of the. I did like the middle panel where she's fighting the snake and then knocks out the one chick. So you
Did,
can see that her tits aren't that small, Frederick. See, in that one panel
Which page are you talking about?
when she throws the spear.
Hold on.
Did anyone else laugh when her name was Ka? I
Oh, yeah,
laughed.
okay. She throws the spear, and you say her tits are not too small in the middle panel?
Listen, I'm gonna bring it up. We're gonna show it. I
Oh,
already.
when she gets hit by the lightning rod.
Yeah, the panel
Yeah.
above. Yeah, look. See, her tits aren't that small.
That looks good. It looks great.
Yeah,
I got Frederick to admit it. Fuck yeah.
hopefully we get a showdown between Ka and Direwolf that their clothes maybe get destroyed next time.
They're just fighting in a mud pit. Yeah, I get you.
I did laugh though when her name was Ka. Like I laughed out loud when I read that part.
Yeah, I was like,
Back to the
See-
names.
I kind of wish he had like an Egyptian accent in the dialogue. To be honest,
Yeah.
with the
I swear though, guys,
snake
like,
lady or something,
lettering.
or she spoke like a snake. That would have been fucking great.
yeah, for sure.
Kinda
Long
disappointing.
S's or something.
but at this point, I swear that even if their clothes got ripped off in the battle and they found themselves in the mud bath, she would still just say to him, "Let's just be friends."
It's like stuck in a tree and he has to watch. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
So I still recommend it at this point, but I am starting to get a little bit annoyed by the writing.
Same, yeah, I would recommend it, but again, I'd have to say, don't get your hopes up for the story and the characters too much.
Yeah. We've got 2 more issues before, what is that, the first trade? I think the first 6 are the
Yeah.
first trade, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's 2 issues that could still save some of this, but yeah, there are some glaring issues with our hero for sure.
And I'm
Mainly
looking
the
forward
fact
to,
that he's a pussy.
yeah, but I'm still looking forward to reading them. So,
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
It's been fun.
yeah,
Well-
for sure.
Thanks for watching. Thanks Frederick Gumont and
Welcome.
Tenkage for showing up.
Peace out.
Qapla.
See you in the
Couple.
next one.
See you later. Qapla.